तिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Welcome you all for the reading session. We are beginning with a new book coming back, which is based on the teachings of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Is coming back, reincarnation and the cycle of birth and death, dedicated to His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Table of contents, it has totally 6 lessons. Introduction. In the Bhagavad Gita as it is, Lord Krishna instructed his devotee and dearmost friend Arjuna while on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. It was here 5,000 years ago that the Lord imparted great transcendental knowledge to Arjuna in order to teach the world about Krishna consciousness. While instructing Arjuna about the supreme absolute truth, Krishna said, "For the soul there is never birth nor death, nor having once been does he ever cease to be. He is unborn, eternal, ever existing, undying and primeval. He is not slain when the body is slain." Lord Krishna teaches many wonderful truths in the Bhagavad Gita, including the science of reincarnation. What is reincarnation? Simply stated, it is the passage of the individual soul at the time of death from one material body to another. What is reincarnation? It is the passage of the individual soul at the time of death, when the soul travels from one body to another. He leaves the present body and goes to a new body. That is called as re. Sometimes as a demigod, sometimes as a human, sometimes as a plant, or sometimes as an animal, the teeny soul is transferred into one body after another at the time of death according to his desires. So, the transformation takes place, the Prakriti, the nature, which is working under direct direction of Lord Shri Krishna, it transfers the soul from one body to another. Prakriti, the nature, arranges for the transferal of the soul from one body to another, not on its own, but based on the desires of that soul in that particular body. So according to my desire, I will go to the next body, and it is my desires only which decide what kind of body I'm going to get in my next life. If I have the desires of freely flying in the air without any disturbance, without any hindrance, if such are my desires to fly in the air, the nature will arrange a body of a bird for me in my next life. If I have the desire to eat meat unrestrictedly, effortlessly. Of course, effort everyone must put. But if I want to eat meat, I'm so fond of eating meat, Prakriti will arrange for a body of a carnivorous animal for me for my next life. So who decides my next life? It's me. It's my own desires which decide what body I'm going to get in my, because the soul is part and parcel of Lord Krishna, and Lord Krishna is eternal and never dies. Neither does neither does the soul. Right? So we are all as Atma, as a spirit soul, we are all part and parcel of Krishna. And because Krishna is eternal, he is part and parcel. Amshas are also eternal. Mamayvamsho Jiva Loke, Jiva Bhuta Sanatanaha. Eternally we are part and parcel of Krishna. Mama Eva Amsho, Krishna says, they are all my Amshas. So because Krishna is eternal and we are his part and parcel, we are also eternal. Because but it is because the soul is eternal and part of the Lord that he can never find true happiness within this material world, no matter what kind of material body he enters. So this is the root cause why we are not able to find happiness in this material world. The reason is because we are part and parcel of Krishna. And Krishna is in spiritual dimension, is in the spiritual world. But because of our wrong desires, we have come to this material world. This is not our real home. This is not the spiritual world. This is the world of Maya. And this is the reason we are not able to find happiness in this world. Because we are not in our real identity. Our real identity is we are Krishna's Amsha, eternal Amsha. So when we re-establish ourselves on that position as Krishna's Amsha, eternal Amsha, then the real happiness again, we situate ourselves in eternal happiness again. But so long we wrongly identify ourselves with this material body, with this material world, we will not be able to get real happiness in this world. The soul is not truly happy until he is serving Lord Krishna. So long we don't take up, we don't realize our true identity as servant of Krishna, eternal servant of Krishna, and starts doing our loving devotional service unto Krishna, we cannot be happy in this material world. No matter what kind of material body one enters. You may enter the body of a devata, still material, because it is in the material world. You may enter the body of the body of kind of Bill Gates or Ambani, still you cannot find happiness. Because you are not situated in your real position. In this session, we will explore the subject of reincarnation and the cycle of birth and death. We will learn how reincarnation has influenced many of the world's greatest poets, writers, teachers, and philosophers. We will also learn what is written about reincarnation in Vedic literature and what Srila Prabhupada has taught us. We will discuss questions such as, do we reincarnate forever or does it end somewhere? Can we control our future incarnations? Can we be born? Can we be reborn on other planets or in other universes? In this session, we will learn about where you have been and how to end the cycle of birth and death within this material world. Session words. Dehino asmin yatha dehe kaumaram yavvanam jara tatha dehantara praptir dhiras tatra namuihati. This is the words spoken by Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, in the beginning of second chapter, when Krishna starts instructing Arjuna about Atma and the body. As the embodied soul continually passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. The self-realized soul is not bewildered by Maya's illusion. Maya's illusion is like the foam which mixes again with the sea. No one is mother, father, or relative. Like the sea foam, they remain a short while only. And as the sea foam merges into the sea, this precious body of five elements disappears. Who can say how many ephemeral forms the embodied soul has taken? This Srila Prabhupada writes in a Bengali poem. Lesson number 1. Let's take a look at some of history's greatest thinkers and what they said about reincarnation, right? Because we believe in proofs, we believe in evidences, right? So before touching the Vedic scriptures, before touching the spiritual literatures, let us see what the great historians, what the great thinkers, philosophers, poets, they spoke about reincarnation. Benjamin Franklin says, finding myself to exist in the world, I believe I shall, in some shape or other, always exist. Walt Whitman, a poet, says, I know I am deathless. We have thus far exhausted trillions of winters and summers. There are trillions ahead and trillions ahead of them. Right? Mahatma Gandhi, he says, and believing as I do in the theory of rebirth, I live in the hope that if not in this birth, in some other birth, I shall be able to hug all of humanity in friendly embrace. Socrates, I am confident that there truly is such a thing as living again, that the living spring from the dead, and that the souls of the dead are in existence. Right? We see all these great people, they believed in reincarnation, that we never die, we always exist in some shape or other. The soul comes from without into the human body as into a temporary abode, and it goes out of it anew. It passes into other habitations, for the soul is immortal. Ralph Waldo Emerson. A Nobel laureate, Isaac Bashevis Singer, says, there is no death. How can there be death if everything is part of the Godhead? The soul never dies and the body is never really alive. It's very important. This body is actually never alive. It is actually dead. It is only because the soul is within this body functions. All the organs are functioning. Once the soul leaves the body, however good organs you may have, however healthy kidneys you may have, however healthy heart, however healthy livers, gut, hands, legs, ears, everything healthy you may have, but if the soul has left the body, all these healthy organs are just dead matter. Reincarnation and the Bhagavad Gita. It is impossible to understand reincarnation unless one understands the difference between the actual self, the soul, and the material body. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells Arjuna, as the sun alone illuminates all this universe, so does the living entity, one within the body, illuminate the entire body by consciousness. See, sun is there in one place, but it illuminates the entire universe, right? Similarly, Atma, which is situated in the region of our heart, it illuminates the entire body. And that illumination of Atma is called as consciousness. And that consciousness is the symptom of soul, the presence of soul. A dead body has no consciousness. Dead body cannot move its hands, legs, eyes, tongue. Why? Because the soul has left, and hence the consciousness is no more. How do we know the soul is present within the body? Consciousness. Consciousness is evidence of the presence of the soul. Consider this analogy often given by Srila Prabhupada. On a cloudy day, the sun may not be visible, but we know it is there in the sky by the presence of sunlight, right? However cloudy the day may be, right? We all of us have this experience. However cloudy the day may be, but there is some sort of light. So much so that we can see each other, we can see the things around us. However cloudy it may be, but still there is light because there is sun in the sky, though he is covered by the clouds. See? So on a cloudy day, the sun may not be visible, but we know it is there in the sky by the presence of the sunlight. Similarly, we may not be able to directly perceive the soul, but we may conclude it is there by the presence of consciousness. The absence of consciousness, the body is simply a lump of dead matter. Only the presence of consciousness makes this lump of dead matter breathe, speak, love, and right. So only the soul, the presence of the soul makes the body active, show all the emotions, right? Otherwise, it is a dead body. The dictionary definition of consciousness is, so this is homework for all of you. When next class, when you come, you should come back with the answer of this. You can take a screenshot of this. The dictionary definition of consciousness. What is the dictionary definition of consciousness? In the Bhagavad Gita, Srila Prabhupada explains that consciousness is thinking, I am. But what are you? When we are thinking with false material consciousness, we may think, I am a great looking guy, or how pretty I am. And the I you are referring to is not your true self. It is only your material body. This is called false ego, or thinking you are your material body. So what is false ego? False ego means thinking that I am this material body. I am so handsome. I am so beautiful, right? I am so tall. I am so strong, right? All this is called as false ego. Ego means identity. True ego, real ego is I am spirit soul, I am Atma, part and parcel of God, part and parcel of Krishna, eternal part and parcel of Krishna. False ego is I am this body, right? But when we wake up from this dreamlike state and remember who we really are, we think I am not this material body, I am spirit soul and am servant of Lord Krishna. This is called purified consciousness. Now, a few questions. What is material consciousness? What is purified consciousness? How we can purify our consciousness? Right? So, can anybody unmute yourself and try to answer the first question? What is material consciousness?
I am this body.
Yes.
Is material consciousness.
Yes. To think
The
that I am this
consciousness.
body is material consciousness. So, what is spiritual consciousness?
I am a part and parcel of Krishna, a servant of Lord Krishna.
Yes, that is called a spiritual consciousness or purified consciousness, right? Purified. Why it is called as purified consciousness? Because the material consciousness that I am this body is a contaminated consciousness. When we think I am this material body, I am a man, I am a woman, I am beautiful, I am a Hindu, I am a Christian, I am a Kannadiga, I am Indian, I am an engineer, I am a doctor. All these things, when we think, this is called as contaminated material consciousness. And purified consciousness means I am pure spirit soul, eternal part and parcel of Krishna. Now the next important question. How can we purify our consciousness? How? How can we purify our consciousness?
By performing devotional service, chanting, following the regulative principles, listening to Prabhupada's lectures, reading his book, associating with devotees.
Yes, all
Bhakti,
those activities, yes, all those activities prescribed by Srila Prabhupada. All these activities are meant for our purification. Right? So just like, say, a rod, it is rusted, it is covered with contamination. So the most perfect way to cleanse it is bring it in the contact of fire. So when it becomes red hot and when you beat on it, all the rust totally gone. It becomes completely clean, cleansed, right? So similarly, when we bring ourselves, at present our consciousness is rusted. What is the rust? The material consciousness. I am this body. I am this, I am that. Everywhere, I, or mine. Aham, mameti. Aham means I, mameti means mine. So when we have this consciousness, this is rusted consciousness. Soul is covered with this contaminated consciousness. So to purify this, we should bring ourselves in contact with the fire, Satchidananda fire, that is Krishna, who is completely pure. So when we bring ourselves in his contact, and how to come in his contact? So there are different ways given by Srila Prabhupada. As Prahlad Maharaj says, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Padasevanam, Sakhyam, Atma Nivedanam. There are 9 processes, right? And out of these 9 processes, Shravanam and Kirtanam are most important. Chanting and hearing. And that is what is focused more in our Sampradaya, as told by all our acharyas. We hear about the Supreme Lord from Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, from various devotees, acharyas, and we chant the holy names, and we sing the glories of the holy name. This is what we do most of the times. So through chanting and hearing, we come in direct contact with the fire of Satchidananda, that is Krishna. Madhu Pandit Prabhu says, the Nama Prabhu, the Nama is Surya of Satchidananda, son of Satchidananda. Just like any kind of contamination, when it comes in contact with the Surya, it becomes purified. Sun purifies even urine and stool, the place which is contaminated with urine and stool. Sun is so powerful that it can purify that place without getting himself contaminated. And similarly, Krishna, whoever comes in contact with Krishna, he purifies all of them. So, how to purify consciousness is by, in Kali Yuga especially, by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. As a hint is given, chant Hare Krishna and your life will be sublime. Next point, the body is like a dream. Srila Prabhupada said, we can experience that every night when we dream, our body lies on the bed, but we go somewhere else, right? This is everyone's experience. In this way, we all experience that our real identity is separate from this body. When we dream, we forget the body lying on the bed. We act in different bodies and in different places. Perhaps in our dream bodies, we flew in the sky, right? At night, we forget our waking body. And in the daytime, we forget our dream body. But our conscious self, the soul, still exists. and we remain aware of our existence in both bodies. Therefore, the conclusion is that we are not any of these bodies. For some time, we exist in a certain body, then at death, we forget it. So, the material body is somewhat like a dream, but the true self, the soul, is different from all of these dreams. That is self realization. So, there are many instances when the, the doctors, they have noticed being very close to someone who is nearing their death, and there are people who have experienced this. There are records in the medical history, the records of near death experiences, NDE. You can type it in the Google and you can do a research. NDE, near death experiences. And there is another category called as out of body experiences, OBE, near death experiences and out of body experiences. There are many people who have experienced death. They met with some accident or something, and they came out of their body, and they have seen their own body. They have seen their own body from outside, that my body is dead. They are looking at their own body, and after some time they came back into the body and they shared this. And then there are near death experiences. So like this, so many. There was one surgery done where the brain was completely shut, and the patient's operation was done, and the operation went on for hours. And after the hours of operation, when the anesthesia is gone and the patient came to consciousness, the patient started narrating the entire visuals in that operation theater. The patient explained even the dialogues between the nurse and the doctor. The doctor asked the nurse, give me this, give me that, this is, what all is going on, what all they were talking. Everything that patient was able to explain, but medically is impossible because the brain is dead. Because to process the hearing, seeing, you need brain. For storage, you need brain. But the functions of brain were stopped, but still the person was able to recall everything. So where was this memory? It was actually the Atma, the soul, who recorded all this. So this body is just like a dream. Just like when we sleep and when we forget this body, we travel to different place in different body, right? Similarly, this Atma, this is in this body, and after some time, when the time is over, the Atma will leave this body and get into another body. So this body is just like a dream. Something to think about and discuss. Can you remember a dream you had that seemed so real to you? Right? All of us have this experience, right? Sometimes some dreams look so real that when you wake up, it is just like you can't believe that it is a dream. You were 100% into it, right? How does having a material body compare to that dream, right? As I said, you felt as if you are 100% into it. Similarly, in this material body, in this material life, we are 100% into this, right? That is why we think this is real, but this is actually a dream for the soul. When you dream, you forget the present body, but you still remain conscious. Your true self, the soul, is what remains conscious. On the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Lord Krishna instructed his friend and devotee Arjuna about the science of self-realization. Consider the following verses from the Bhagavad Gita. For the soul, there is never birth nor death, na jayate mriyate va kadachin, nor having once been does he ever cease to be. Nayam bhutva bhavita vana bhuyaha. He is unborn, ajo, nitya, shashvata, ayam puranaha, na hanyate, hanyamane, sharire. He is unborn, ajo, eternal, nityaha, shashvata, ever existing, puranaha, primeval. He is not slain when the body is slain. Na hanyate, hanyamane, sharire. When the body is slain, when when he is not slain, when the body is slain, when the body is dead, this Atma who is najayate mriyate, never taking birth and never dying, is never dead. Next, Krishna says, as a person puts on new garments, giving up old ones, similarly, the soul accepts new material bodies, giving up the old ones and useless ones. Just like we put on garments as soon as they are old, little torn, or little the color fades, we give up that dress and we get on new dress. Similarly, Atma, it lives in one particular body, and as that body gets old, it will leave that body and go into another fresh new body according to his desires, as explained in the beginning of this chapter. Right? Then the soul can never be cut into pieces. Nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavak. It cannot be burned by fire. Na shoshayati marutaha. It cannot be withered by wind. It cannot be moistened by water. Some look on the soul as amazing. Ascharyavat paschati dhinam. Some describe him as amazing. Ascharyavat vadati. And some hear of him as amazing, while others, even after hearing about him, cannot understand him at all. You can just imagine, Krishna himself says that even after hearing about the Atma, some people cannot understand him at all. And what to speak of those people? If they cannot understand Atma, how can they understand Paramatma? How can they understand God? This is the basic qualification to understand God, that one should understand first who is Atma, what is Atma, then only they can understand the next level, Paramatma. Okay, few questions now. What is false ego? We already have discussed. Can anybody tell me what is false ego?
The same, no, Prabhu, that I am this body. I am so and so.
Yeah.
That's my false
Yeah.
ego.
Yes, exactly. Yes. But